How are we doing, Packers fans? This is Joey here at Underage Packers. And now that we've had time to digest a rough week one loss to the Vikings, I wanted to take a step back here and look at three areas that I think are going to be the Packers' weakness and hopefully not their downfall this season. But if they do end up having a downfall ultimately in the season, probably in the playoffs once again, let's face it, I think these are going to be three of the main reasons why this season. So hopefully um, they improve upon these areas and teams don't take advantage of them every week. I think these three issues were pretty present in this loss against Minnesota. So let's head right into it with problem number one, and that would be inexperience and injuries among the offensive line. Obviously, the elephant in the room there is David Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins still recovering from their ACL injuries. It's been a rocky path for the both of them, especially Bakhtiari, who just a few weeks after signing his 4-year contract extension suffered a torn ACL in practice, so that's devastating, obviously. So we were all familiar with that, and now it's still a week-to-week thing, almost a year and a half later. Obviously, very concerning. Hopefully, we get him back soon this season. And when he does come back, hopefully, he is back in his all pro form. And then with Elton, once again, same type of situation. His recovery time has not been quite as long, but we really need him on this offensive line. Most likely, he's going to start at right tackle once he returns to the lineup, but he can really start anywhere, obviously. We saw in this game against Minnesota, though, that their lineup without them is a shaky look. Without the two of them, and also without Billy Turner, who really held the line down last year when they were dealing with those two injuries. Billy is now with Denver after the Packers released him this past offseason, so they are left with Josh Nyman, Royce Newman, and a handful of other kind of misfits at offensive tackle for their starting lineup. Yash nor Royce did not look too great in this lineup against Minnesota. We do know that both of them are capable of playing solid. They're solid depth pieces, obviously, but they did not look great as starters this week. Hopefully, David and Elton can come back sooner rather than later. But even outside of them, you look and you have Josh Myers, who is a great center. He had a great rookie year last year. We'll see if he continues that success in his sophomore year. You have John Runyon at left guard, the third-year player from Michigan, who has been solid. Great value for a sixth-round pick, obviously. And then you have kind of a question mark at right guard for now between Jake Hansen, Zach Tom, and once again, a handful of who knows what. So, offensive line is going to be a struggle this year. Hopefully, they can get and stay healthy for the remainder of the season. John Runyon might be dealing with a concussion at the moment, so still a wait and see there. Interested to see what that lineup looks like throughout the season. The second area of weakness is one that the national media pundits have been telling you for 2 years now, and that is a lack of proven wide receivers that is now even more exasperated with the loss of Devontae Adams being traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. And now the Packers are left with really a handful of guys that are interesting points in their career paths. So you have Sammy Watkins, who they signed in free agency, who didn't live up to his draft pick status throughout his career, but has proven he can be a solid weapon in offenses when he's healthy. You have Aaron Rodgers' buddy Randall Cobb, who is obviously nearing the end of his career, or at least near the end of his capable playing career. And I still think he has a little bit of gas left in the tank. And then you have a lot of rookies. You have Allen Lazard as the de facto wide receiver number one as an undrafted free agent a few years ago. And the rookies, I'm not sure what to think about them at this point. You have Romeo Dobbs, who had a really solid camp. We know the potential that Christian Watson has. And other than that, you have Samari Toure. You have the practice squad guy and Juwan Winfrey. So really interested to see how this wide receiver group, what their production looks like throughout the year, how much Aaron goes to one of them, because he's going to, at a certain point, kind of have to let that trust that he values so much, he's kind of going to have to let that go. He's going to be forced to if Allen Lazard, who, he's dealing with an ankle injury right now, but if a few more guys go down in that room and he's left with a Christian Watson and a Romeo Dobbs that is two starting receivers, he's going to have to, simply have to change his game and not value trust with his wide receivers so much and how they impact his decisions. So, wide receivers, I thought they looked solid in Minnesota this past week, but they are going to feel the pain of dealing with life without Devontae Adams. Now, hopefully, in the coming weeks, they will utilize Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon a lot more than they did in week one, but we'll have to see on that. Obviously, Jones and Dillon can not only be used from out of the backfield, but also as a wide receiver. And we saw a lot of that potential this first week, and I hope we see even more of that soon. And the final weak spot is the one that lost them the playoff game last year, and that is special teams. Rich Bisaccia has come to be the savior of the Green Bay Packers special teams, the one phase that they have not been able to figure out for 20 or 30 years at this point, and it has been incredibly frustrating. They signed Pat O'Donnell, who has had a great career with the Bears so far, 8 years in the league. Seems like a good puncher. His big test will be, though, once it starts getting colder at Lambeau Field to see if he can keep on having those consistent punts. That has been the struggle for the Packers' two pass punters in J.K. Scott and then Corey Bojorquez. They really got shaky once it hit the months of October, November, December, and January. So hopefully O'Donnell can hold up. You have Mason Crosby, who will be kind of something to keep your eye on for the whole season as he is getting up there in age. See if he, can recover from a bad season a year ago. See if that was all age, if age was finally getting to him, or just, a bad season, a mixture of things, whatever. Have to check up on him. And then obviously the long snapper, Jack Coco, see how he does, because that was a big problem for the Packers last year as well. And just the special teams mistakes have been numerous, even before that 49ers game, obviously, even the ones that stick out. So many penalties, so many misexecutions, so many bad decisions on returns. So we'll have to see if Packers special teams can at least be competent, can at least take a step up in 2022 with Rich Bisaccia. All right, that is all I have for you today, highlighting the Packers' weaknesses. They have another division match, probably an easier one, in the Chicago Bears coming to Lambeau Field this weekend for a Sunday night football game. Should be a Packers domination. I'm looking forward to it. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below, and also make sure you subscribe here at Underage Packers and follow all the other places we are on the internet. We really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you later. As always, go Pack Go.